Hi, good afternoon, everyone. They say the best is for the last. I'm not sure. I would like you to judge that. A very good afternoon. It's like the last story of the evening. Nothing in my life was ever on an advantage. Not the place I was born, not the place I grew up. In fact, most of it looked like a disadvantage. But today, when I look back, what I thought was that huge advantage was actually preparation. Can I start my story? Thank you. I was born in a small village in the southernmost part of Karnataka, among the woods and the mountain. One day, my visiting grandmother looked at a child under the tree, sick and weak. That was me. She screamed, "Is this what you do with a child who's born after so many years of blessings?" She picked the child in her arms, brought the child to Bangalore. That is me. Now I was in Bangalore, alone, not with my parents. I'm sure the kids here and some of adults, you all agree, none can take care of the children like their own parents, right? That pretty much happened with me. I became invisible, often neglected. But something powerful happened in my mind. My mind converted neglect into independence. Look at that. So with no support, I had to build my own ecosystem. About 14 kilometers to and fro to the school, sometime by foot, sometime by bus, and most of the time, wave your hand, a stranger will drop you to the nearest location. Part-time job at a grocery store, negotiate with customer day and day for a few cents. Sometime odd jobs like newspaper. Somehow, I landed to the college. When I look at it as a reframe, people were looking at my struggle, but I was building capability. People looked at my difficulties, I was building resilience. So somehow I made it to the college. Sometimes life hits you hard, and then it decides to hit you harder. 17 and a half, I realized my dad was no more. Now it's me, my mother, and a school-going sister, not the daughter, school-going sister, all three of us together. A few bags of grains, few utensils, and some furniture. We had to move to Bangalore to start a new life. Starting college in the day, a good multinational in the evening as a part-time, $1,800. Then it went up to 4,000, but something inside me was not ready to settle. I wanted to bring back the dignity that we had lost. You might ask me, what is dignity? You all know the word success is a relative term. You attract relatives only when you're successful. You all agree with me? Yes. So now something didn't stop. I was not all right from within. I did an internship program in a consulting firm. I used to work for this multinational telecom company between 5 and 11. 21, I had the audacity to call my HR head for a lunch date. Tell her, "Hey, you seem to be having human capital problems. I've served in your company for about 4+ years. I think I'm the best person to help you, not the vendors you're speaking outside." When I look back, I think it's nothing but overconfidence is what I had then. She was mature enough to smile and say, yes, you're just a part-timer, not an employee. Why not? Go ahead and do it. So $5,000 borrowed from a money lender, a 10 by 10 borrowed space, a P1 computer, you might all not have heard about that, and a lot of overconfidence is what I had when I first started my startup when I was 22. Resumes from cyber cafes, because we did not have this kind of internet connection then. Calls to the candidates and clients from our PCO booth. Yes, that was a reality. From a single member firm, we were a 200 plus member firm supporting global organizations, multiple locations, a few $1 million in revenue. Times called me as one of the youngest entrepreneurs in India, and many such accolades. 2010, I was able to sell my stakes to a US firm that took me to the US. The board requested me, can I help them turn around a loss-making organization, which is a NASDAQ? I said a yes, because I'd read it somewhere. Those days, not this WhatsApp, we used to have some basic wisdom as comics that we used to have. Say a yes and later figure it out. Say a yes and later figure it out. I said a yes, I figured it out. End of 2 quarters, we had already started paying dividends to our shareholders. Wow. It looked like success for me. But what people did not know was there was something that was quietly preparing me for what I was doing. Back to India, joined one of the big fours, number one of the big 4 consulting firms as a talent leader, transition work across the globe to India. 9 years of my career, 8 jobs, 7 managers, every time like a strict IAS officer. I used to get compliment from my colleague, how do you manage such a compose in so much of storm that you're going through? I did not know how I was managing it. So I went to my boss and asked, why me? I think that was a turning moment in my life. He said, look, in terms of adversity, you always raise your hands. When the firm needed the most, you always raise the hands. You've just not raised your hands. You seem to have figured it out and made it happen. Hence, you are the top pick for most of us. I realized, I saw a pattern. And that's my corporate journey. My realization was, I felt I was managing life. But when I look back, I wasn't managing adversity. I was being trained by it. All the years of walking alone, all the years of figuring out life for myself, the early responsibility of family, the audaciousness and overconfidence of having to run a startup, not for a purpose, but to kind of give a good life to yourself and your family. I realized all this was training me, and I was building something invisible, powerful, and I call it as Adversity Quotient. So there's IQ and there is EQ. I don't have to talk about IQ because I'm speaking to the smartest minds in the world. The best IQs, yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. EQ gets you to deal with people, but AQI, first coined by Dr. Paul. So what is AQI? It is your ability to deal with life's challenges, adapt, and rise stronger when life is not at your side. Ability to adapt, ability to face challenges, and rise stronger when life's not your way. So why AQ matters so much? 40 years of our career, because our lifespan is going up, 40 years of our career, there's going to be adversities that you will deal with. You will deal with multiple personalities as leaders, stakeholders, bosses, colleagues. Economics, AI and bot, my friend just told me, they are going to take away some % of your role, or most of them. That's when your AQI decides whether you're still in the game or not. So here's my message to students, the bright student I'm addressing today. Your IQ helps you open the best doors available in the world. That's fantastic. But beyond that, you have to deal with various nuances in your 40 years of your career, from cultural, people, personalities, stakeholders, global ups and downs. What makes you different is your ability to respond all of them, and that's when IQ matters to you. So as students, how can you help and build an ability to be best as on your AQI? Raise your hands for projects beyond your academics. Raise your hands for projects that impact society. Raise your hands for project that brings eminence to you and to the educational institution that you represent. By doing so, your AQI is slowly preparing you for the world that is unknown. For professionals, I'm sure we have a few in front of me here today, around 30 plus years of your career, we all get to deal with different personality as stakeholders, leaders, economics, ups and downs, and we all are mostly reduced to a number in an Excel sheet. When time comes, today you open LinkedIn, it talks about how many thousands are fired overnight. Your AQI helps you keep up. So how could you do it? Raise your hands for projects that are beyond your circle of influence. Raise your hands for project that impacts firm at a national or a global level. My one tip, raise your hand, figure it out, ask for help, and my bet, 9 out of 10 times, you will make that happen. And most importantly, for parents, there is a huge research paper available to you, how the previous generation, which did very, very well, and eventually we see that the next generation falling down so badly. You all have the name in your minds as I make this statement or a definition. Dear parents, don't rush to solve your kids' problems. Instead, help them navigate it, because great minds, great personalities, people who have held on are never created in ease, but are created in discomfort. With that, ladies and gentlemen, next time there's something not working against as per your plan, you're going through an adversity, life's not in the right way that you're currently planning, when it's upside down, don't ask yourself, why me? Instead, ask yourself, what am I being prepared for? Thank you so much for your time and attention.